All right, tricked you. We're just starting right now, and we got a whole new mic system, and we need you guys to let us know how it's sounding.
Type in the chat. How do we sound? 1 out of 10. Is our sound sounding better? Because it sound. I have you in my left ear.
I got you on both because we got the one part of the section of the mic that works. But we're rocking and rolling, guys. We got a really big topic for you guys, but I want you to type in the chat, how is it sounding? How is the audio? 9 out of 9. That's pretty good.
That's real good.
Okay, 999 is good. We're just gonna take one data point because we don't have time to fix it because we got a lot to get into. So, Andrew, first
Yes.
of all, what have we done today, and why are we doing so many things right now? And why did we literally just sit down after planning this earlier and explain what we did today?
Yeah. I think first thing is we're just living behind the scenes. I was trying to think of where to start. We're just living behind the scenes. I want for all of you to ask yourself, what am I doing to move the needle forward today? What we did today is number one, we both got up early. I went for a run to the mailbox. You went for a longer run.
Yeah.
And we had a highly productive planning morning from the get-go. I cut my morning routine fairly short, and we prepared today's episode. We talked about that. And then we've been doing a training for our mastermind, helping them have breakthroughs and build out their businesses for 2025. So we've been building out that strategy. So that's what the last several hours our mind had been fully focused on. Now, today we have something we was talking about and helping our mastermind community with. We want to share some of it with you guys. So that's what we've been preparing for you all. So what are we delving into today?
Today, we're going to learn how to use this damn audio interface. We are going over the momentum framework. This is episode 5, guys. We're going over the momentum framework, which is essentially going to show you guys how to build unstoppable momentum, how to make it so hard to stop you in your tracks because you have just been going so consistently in everything that you're doing in your business, in your life, in your fitness, in your relationships. You have just been taking it step by step and improving every single day. Because I have a question for you. Do you ever feel like you're always starting over? Like no matter how hard you try, you can never get real sustainable progress in your business, your life, or your fitness. Thank you, Andrew. Today, by the way, we got some Hojicha green tea, which is
Tea leaves and all.
tea leaves and all of the good stuff. Um, Today, Andrew and I are giving you the framework that we use that breaks that cycle, breaks a cycle of always having to start over. January 1st comes along and you're always having to restart the process. And we're going to show you how to build momentum and make it impossible to stop.
So the first thing I want to mention to you is, how are you feeling? How is your life progressing? How is January starting for you? I have been in the place because I used to be extremely disorganized. I'm working on that, getting better, right? Where I felt like my to-do list never ended. I felt like I was in what I call a loop-de of juggling life and business. I know some of our community, we have people who are husband, wife, father, mother, have kids, have families, got to get the kids to school, to the ball game, got to run the business, got to close the deals, and just feeling stretched too thin and overwhelmed. And that no matter how much you try to get this side done, something over here falls through. So you put focus over here, and then while you're getting that fixed, something in the business falls through, and it feels like a never-ending cycle.
So, Andrew, as we're jumping in here,
Yes.
first of all, let's hold everyone accountable to what we talked about yesterday. I want to know
This would be good.
who did their actionable yesterday, who committed to diving in. We talked about how to get over overwhelm, how to get past this monstrous thing that holds back most entrepreneurs, and it is this overwhelm. Who did the homework? Type it in the chat. Yes. If you did not, type I will do it today, and we'll give you the exact action to rock into. But for just a moment, because me and Andrew, honestly, as we go throughout these days and the daily lives, we're in the busiest weeks that we've ever been in. So even though we spent hours preparing and we still go through our meetings, we know that hey, this we just hopped off of two other meetings like 4 minutes ago, and we had 2 minutes to eat, and that's why you'll see us like you'll see our desk. It's a little bit messy. I got the whole audio interface here. I got all these things. But honestly, we live this framework of momentum of taking imperfect action,
Yeah.
right? Most of the things that we do is very imperfect.
Absolutely.
And that hurts my soul because I like to do everything perfectly. But I've had to overcome this idea that everything has to be so perfect. What goes to your mind when I say that?
So I was thinking to hold back until it's perfect is the greatest disservice any of us can do to the world. And I had a memory pop up on my Facebook, Leo, and I don't think I showed it to you. It was a video I had live streamed like 2 years ago. And it was me sitting in like an outdoor coffee shop patio area on my phone telling people how to go find a deal and how I just closed a real estate deal.
Yeah.
The audio sucked. It was windy. The lighting wasn't right. The sun was beating down on my face. Like nothing was great about the video, except I got feedback of people who were like, that makes so much sense. That's what I was like missing that piece. And I realized that looking back on it, like, and I'm not proud of the quality of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on it, I'm very glad that I didn't hold back that gift, right? That thing that everyone around me needed. So for each of you, what is that gift? What is that thing that you know you have that the world around you needs that gives you the ability to live your life and to help others live theirs? Because some of you are meant to maybe host a meetup, right? I started hosting a meetup. The very first event that I hosted had six people. 6 people showed up. And the point is to just start. I remember going to meetups where there was 4 or 5, 6 people in a hotel lobby talking about real estate deals. I actually raised private money at some of those meetups. Why? Because somebody started and said, hey, it won't be perfect, but I commit to just starting. So type it in the chat, just start.
Just start. So I'll tell you a quick story. And this was in 2019 when I started to actually make content. I was a personal trainer. For those of you who didn't know, I was training all those kids at my school, all the kids in my neighborhood, and I was known as Coach Chun, right? And all the kids would call me Coach Chun. And I started making content, just doing push-ups, doing different fun types of workouts, and I posted every single day. For 2 years, I posted I think it was every 2 or 3 days I posted. And by the end of those 2 years, what I got was about 1,000 followers. Okay, really cool. And when I started to look at the other people around me, they had millions of followers, 500,000 followers, 300,000 followers. And I would always compare with other people's success at the time. And I started to get down. I was like, what is happening? Why is my content not working? One month, I learned this momentum framework. I learned the mentality behind it. I had already been doing it because I was taking such imperfect action because my videos were so terrible before. But I was continuing to do the process. And someone told me, Leo, if in a year you got 0 followers, but you learned how to be a better content creator, wouldn't that have been a good thing? And I said, yeah, no, you're right. And he said, okay, now why don't you just take what you've learned, go hard this month, make some new types of videos, increase your art, and see what happens. And it was 2021. I was having the hardest day of my life. My car just broke down on the side of the road in Bakersfield. And if you know Bakersfield, there's nothing to do in Bakersfield. So I was stuck there for so long. I didn't have much money to get home, but I did have a credit card. So I bought a ticket to go back home. And what I did in that span of time as I was going home was I started to post some content on TikTok.
I
Fast
love this
forward a little
story.
bit.
Such
I,
a powerful breakthrough.
I go over to my mom's and I'm telling my mom, like, oh, I'm having the worst time ever. I feel like my life's over. I just failed my business. I have no money. I just blew up my car. All these crazy things are happening. And here I am making some content about it. And my mom tells me, she says, son, nothing happens overnight. Things just don't snap and happen for you. And I go to sleep that night, really, really stressed. You know that type of stress where you just want to pull out your hair, like you have no idea how you're going to get through the next day. I woke up in the middle of the night and I checked that video that I had posted earlier that day when I was going through all those stresses. And the video was sitting at 250,000 views. And I went from the 1,000 followers that I had across the board to 27,000 followers that same evening. And it blew my mind because it showed me the power of momentum. It showed me the power that just because I kept going, even the hardest times, I just took a little bit more imperfect action, something broke through. Something happened for me, and that was the content story. So I want you guys to think about that in your own life. What if you just took imperfect action the whole year? How much more would you be of a person? How much more of a human being, of a great salesperson, of a great marketer, of a great whatever you can think of? How much better of a person would you be? Just think about that.
So I think it's something powerful. I posted something on Facebook a while back and I said, momentum is the greatest underrated tool in business today. You guys may know if you have a freight train, it weighs a lot. I don't know how many tons, but a lot. I remember growing up, I would walk down the railroad tracks. We would hunt railroad spikes. We'd go out in the woods, go deer hunting. We'd walk down the railroad tracks. And I always remember it was kind of scary to me because I would get off the tracks, go sit in the deer stand a little bit away, and you'd see the train coming down the tracks. And you'd hear the big horn and you'd see the coal-filled train cars. And it looked ginormous. You'd count the cars, dozens and dozens and dozens of cars going down the railroad track, and you'd see the railroad track that was so steady, just moving with all that weight on it. And I heard one time that a pebble in front, a little rock, a little pebble in front of the freight train's wheel when it's at a dead stop will keep it from being able to take off. That huge freight train. But once you get that freight train growing, there ain't nothing that can stop it.
Right.
You could line up 25 semi trucks and it's going to plow through them.
Yeah.
You could line up anything and it's going to plow through it. But yet that little pebble stops in the beginning. And I said, when I read that one day, I said, momentum is the greatest underrated tool in the books because the action we take today, the plants we plant today, the seeds we sow today come up tomorrow. And the great big oak tree started as a little bitty oak, as a little bitty acorn. Oak, as a little bitty acorn. The great big, anything you see, the tomato plant started as a tiny little seed, the apple tree, and a apple seed. And you start to realize that great things happen because small things start and build momentum. Your business, sure, year one, I only got 12 properties. Year two, I bought 50. Not because I'd done twice as much work. Actually, I had to do less work to get the result of 50 properties in 2015 than I did to do the 12 properties in 2014 because I had momentum. And that's what is going to happen for you as you're stepping into your business, your purpose, your new level of income in 2025, whatever the thing is that you've been needing and wanting to do to start the meetup, to start the business, to grow, to make the sales call. Those things build momentum, and momentum can't be stopped.
So everyone type in the chat momentum because we're going to go into the momentum framework that's going to break everything down for you. But first, I wanted to shout out Joe, who says, we've been watching these episodes with our children, appreciate the content. I think that's incredible. I wish I had this when I was a whole lot younger. I'm sure you also wish you were able to get these type of mentalities. And thank you for being able to support and to bring your children along too, because that is a big part of our mission, is to help people live a free and fulfilling lives, and of course help the younger generation as well.
Young entrepreneurs in the making.
That's right. Start them young. If they're 2, they're ready for Leo and Andrew. That was good. All right. Hey, let's rock and roll. So, why you're trying to do what you're trying to do? What you want is to break free from feeling so stuck every day. You feel like you're being confined in a box, and every time you try to jump out, every time you take an action, you do a to-do list and you go forward, you get right back into the same place, maybe a little bit behind. You want to get out of that system and that same process that you've been in, because it just isn't working. You want to build consistency and discipline, because those are the respect points that you give to yourself when you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I did something hard. I did something difficult. This was a hard mountain to climb, and I focused on it and I built it and I conquered it. And that is what me and Andrew at least believe that a lot of pure happiness comes from. Is when you're doing difficult things and you're going towards becoming the person that can tackle all these things easier, so then you go do bigger things.
Yeah.
So why, Andrew, are they trying to do it? Why are they trying to build this type of consistency and really build this momentum?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I think one is purpose. I think for all of us, we feel the need to do the thing that we feel we're called to do, right? We feel the need to create a better life for our family, to make more money, to live more fully. Many people I talk to, including me when I started, it's like, I want to travel more and I want to give more. For me, I wanted to give more to my church and to missions. And so you hear me reference that often because that's one of my heartbeats, right? It's something very important to both Leo and myself, is be able to give. And so whatever the reason, that purpose is for you, the knowing what your reason is for doing it gives you that ability to say, you know what, I'm going to go on when things are tough. So know what your reason is. For some people, it's just, I just want to have a life and make sure that I'm building a legacy for my kids, that they won't have to struggle like I did, that they can impact people at a bigger level. Some of you see your kids having callings and purpose in their life that excite you, and you say, gosh, if I can just give them a head start, I would love that.
Type in the chat, guys. Why do you do it? Why are you building what you're building and spending this time, sacrificing your time to build something incredible, to build a life, build multiple streams of income for you and your family? Maybe it's to travel. Maybe it's to feel freedom. Maybe it's to be able to work with the people that you love. But type in the chat, why do you do this? And I just want to highlight some of this for you guys, because every single one of you, you're so incredible, right? You all have a deeper purpose. You have a deeper why. And that is what carries you forward, right? You want to create a better life. You want to prove that you can do it. So type in the chat there so we can see it. But as you guys are typing it, let's talk about what is stopping you. Okay. Let's talk about what is stopping you. Do you want to get started with this?
Sure. Yeah, I think the biggest misconception of what stops us from doing what we want to do, and I see this with a lot of people, they believe it to be money. You say, gosh, I could start the business, I just need more money. I could close the deal if I just had access to money. And while I agree that money, having access to that money does help, it makes it better, I also know that if you become great at putting deals together, you can do it with less money. So I share that because we can find time to do the things we want to do, yet we often go, gosh, I just don't have enough time to do this thing. We can find the money to do the things that we want to do, yet we find ourselves going, goodness, I just need the money. So what I believe to be the underlying challenge for most of us is limiting beliefs, because the time, we all have 24 hours in a day. It doesn't change. We all have the ability in some way or another, the gift to go out and build a level of wealth, whatever that is, whether it be big or small. Yet most of us, probably me being my greatest enemy, have struggled massively with limiting beliefs. I think that's the biggest holdback for all of us.
And limiting beliefs sounds like this. You know, what if I'm not enough and I can't do the things I want to do? And I tried all these things and they just failed. I don't think I can't do it, right? And what if I put myself out there and people see me and they find out that I'm trying to build these things, but I fail? And deep down, we say it's a lack of time. We say that we don't have enough money or capital to get started. We say that we can't stay consistent, which is another limiting belief. But really, it is the truest thoughts that go through your head that say, what if I try and it doesn't work? What if I stick to this and it's still not enough to pull me out? What if it's not perfect? Why either bother starting? And now this is very personal to me because I used to say these things to my mind every single day, and it would cripple me in not taking action. And I would feel so stuck and I wouldn't know what to do, but I would fake it. I would fake like I was this person that knew everything, that I was able to get past, and I had the answers because it felt better for my ego.
Hmm.
My ego needed to feel like, hey, I was this person who was doing the work.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you look at really what I did throughout that year, it was just a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of talk, a whole lot of fear. And that is a season that I needed to go through to learn this lesson.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Leo, something you said there. As each of us step into a new level, it's always uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So it's easier to talk about it and to go back to what we know. And I was talking about limiting beliefs. The verse came to me. I think it's in Psalms, and it talks about the children of Israel when they were wandering the wilderness. And it says, and they turned back and limited the Holy One of Israel, limited God. It says they turned back and limited God. And I think about that in our life. And I remember reading that one time when I was going through something and I was wanting to dream bigger, but like I was having trouble believing it.
Right.
And then I was like, wait a second, am I limiting God? And I remember that thought coming to me because what it did, not to guilt trip anyone, I'm just telling you what it did for me. What it did was it made me say, wait a second, what if I have, like, literally imagining I have a deep faith in God? What if God is like, hey, I want you guys at Truca to do a daily live show. I want to help a lot of people with it. And we're sitting here going, but we only have two cameras, not the third one, right? Our lighting isn't right yet. Hang on. And we actually limit that vision for our life, or in this case, for your life. And then there's the domino effect. And so my prayer for each of you on here is that you move past the limiting beliefs, the need to be perfect, and say, I am going to step into the thing I know I need to. I'm going to take the action. I'm going to make the call. I'm going to start the meetup, even if it's me and three others at a lunch. I'm going to do the tipping dinner to bless the waitress. I'm going to do whatever the thing is that I know I need to now do that gets me to that next level. And that's, again, our objective. That's why we're going to be hanging out with many of you for 3 days in San Diego. We are excited to bring you guys together and to be the match that strikes the fire in you that says you are capable of so much more.
Just imagine, guys. Imagine that you learn this principle of momentum and you develop it and you start to surround yourself with just really good people. Just imagine being here, right? One of our goals, me and Andrew, was okay, when someone spends time with me and Andrew, they grow, right? That's kind of been something we're very proud of because we make sure that if we have friends around us, they're going to grow. They're going to have a great time, right? This sanctuary, this HQ is meant to allow people to grow and become the best version of themselves. So when you're on this daily live, it is about how can I grow? How can I be around this type of energy? But just imagine a year from now, You are waking up with clarity. You're waking up with focus every single day. And you're just the most confident, charismatic version of yourself in everything that you do. And why are you so confident? It's because over the past 365 days, week by week by week by week, 56 weeks, you have stayed committed to whatever it is that you committed to, that we're going to find out in just a minute here as we open this up. And we are going to look at the things that we have tried before and understand why they didn't work. And then we're going to place the actual weekly commitment that I want you guys to do this week. So when you come back tomorrow, and when you come back Thursday, and when you come back Friday, we can hold you accountable to those things. Are you guys ready? Type in the chat yes if you're ready.
And while you're typing yes, show us some love. Give us some likes, some thumbs up, some hearts on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching.
These first couple of days are the only times that we're going to say, please like this thing so it can go out to the algorithm, because we are so packed up day by day that we don't have enough 30-minute slots right now to actually market this out to outside of our fun, awesome, organic audience.
Plus, our people are the best people and they bring the best people. So it actually works out.
That's right. All right, everyone's ready. Everyone is ready, and they're ready for change, and they're ready for that change right now. So, what you've tried before, you've tried jumping into massive action all at once, maybe January 1st, which ends up to burnout. Maybe you've tried setting overly ambitious goals, right? Maybe you've only made 300K in a year. Maybe you've only made 100K in a year. But I want to hit 3 mil this year because it's a cool, sexy goal. But you didn't break it down. Maybe you rely too heavily on inspiration, motivation. Maybe you've read some of the books that we have here. Maybe that you've watched maybe even some of me and Andrew's videos, and you're like, I'm so motivated. I'm so ready to go. Yeah. Right? What else have they tried before?
So I've seen a lot of people who take action without learning, or take lots of learning but don't put it to action. Something else I see a lot of people do, and I did this, and the reason I did it wasn't for lack of wanting help or accountability. It was for not knowing how to get it. And a lot of people I see go it alone. And when you go it alone, I just am such a believer that you weren't meant to do this business alone. You weren't meant to do life alone. And that's why we're here with you. So as you're coming back day after day, week after week, that you're not needing to do it alone. As you come hang out with us and in-person events and do the things with us, my desire is that you feel that accountability and build that community around you like we've been blessed to build. Because back in a few years ago, 2019 and 2020, when I went through some of the hardest things in my life, I felt the most alone I'd ever felt. And I think each of you can relate some way to that. Whether you're a father and you're like, gosh, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders, but I need to take care of my family. Or a mother and you're taking care of your kids. Or maybe you're just a kid taking responsibility for your parents. Any of those aspects that you feel responsibility. You feel that. And sometimes it's like, gosh, who do I go to? I wish I had accountability, but there ain't really nobody I can be honest about this part, because everybody thinks that this is my life or thinks I'm doing well. I've got to keep on a good front. And so for all of you, I just want this to be a place you can show up, be held accountable, and not be alone.
That is so good, Andrew, because the mask that we put on so naturally is what holds us back so much.
So well said.
That mask is the ego. That mask is the scared person behind that doesn't want to show their true self. But we have to understand that true self, that vulnerable side, that person that's able to express, hey, I'm struggling right now. What can I learn? What do I do? What do I improve on? And they seek a mentor, or they seek books, or they seek the right wisdom that sometimes doesn't feel so good. Sometimes it hurts to hear these type of things. But when you take off that mask and say, you know what, let me put this mask down. Let me be vulnerable for a week and say, what can I learn? What can I really develop and start to improve upon, because I know I've been putting on a facade or maybe a mask. those things don't feel good to hear that. So let's talk about why it didn't work. And we have 15 minutes here because we have another meeting happening at exactly 45. But it didn't work because you tried doing it all at once and you had a lack of clarity because we did not break down those goals. So let's talk about that, Andrew. Why is it so important to chunk it down? Why is it so important to not say, okay, sure, say I want to make $1 million this year, but why is it so important to break that into a small bite every single day that you can do?
I think when we get up each day, now I remember the first time I ever wrote the goal to make $1 million.
Yep.
And each day I got up, I didn't feel any closer to $1 million. Did I call 30 sellers? Yes. Did I, a few weeks in, contract a deal? Yes. But one little tiny deal that's going to make 10 grand is a long cry from $1 million. So it feels impossible until I said, wait, if $1 million means I need to make $80,000, $83,000 a month, means I need to make $20,000 a week, means I need to do one deal a week. What if that means I need to talk to 50 sellers a week? Well, gosh, I can talk to 10 sellers today. I know I broke that down real fast. And that's in the real estate business analogy. Whatever your business or life metric is, say, I want to impact 20 people this year in a meaningful way. Well, cool. What if I do a meetup and 4 people show up? I'm 25% to my goal.
Right.
So sincerely, you start to break it down, and doing 10 phone calls a day sounds a lot more doable to me than making $1 million to a broke kid at 21 years old who then didn't know how to do that, to someone who barely knew how to spell real estate, not alone call and talk to sellers about buying it. I was 21. I was a country boy. I was raised in a town of 400 people. I didn't know what I was doing, yet I had this big dream. And if I could break it down to a bite size, as you said, if I could break it down to what do I need to do today, now it suddenly becomes attainable.
So everyone type it in the chats, the momentum framework. I want you guys to remember this. I want you to have it down, and I want you to do it with us here.
The momentum framework. That's
so good. The momentum framework starts with step number 1, which is breaking down the goal. Now, Andrew did it pretty quickly, and since we really only have a little bit of time left on today's beautiful call, we're going to do it speedy but in depth, okay? Speedy but in depth. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to choose one goal, and we're going to simplify it into a small weekly commitment. A lot of our mastermind members are here. Our students are here. We do this with you guys a lot. Do it again, because the process of building, the process of breaking down a goal, simplifying it, and creating a weekly commitment is a skill. I don't want you guys to ever lose this skill. I want you to have it forever and continually use it for all the goals that you have, because even the process of breaking things down is something that I want you guys to do consistently. So you're going to choose one goal, simplify it into a small weekly commitment. For example, let's take revenue. You want to make 200K this year. We're going to break it down into 4s. Why are we going to break it down into 4s? Because there's 4 quarters. It allows us a mental model to say, okay, I don't have to hit 200K all in one. I don't have to eat the whole burger all in one bite. I don't have to eat the whole elephant. I don't know why you would want to eat an elephant, but you don't have to eat the whole elephant in one bite. Instead, you go bite by bite by bite. In this case, we're going to go in 4s. So if you want to make 200K this year in annual revenue, broken down into 4 quarters, that's 50K a quarter every 3 months. Now we're going to break it down one more step. If you want to make 50K a quarter, what is that every year? You divide it by 3, which would be 16.6K. So
every month.
Every single month, $16,600. Now, of course, in the business that me and Andrew teach, if one deal makes 16.6K and it takes 5 sales calls to get there, all we have to do is commit to making 5 seller conversations a week. Now, are you seeing what's happening here? Of course, those are conservative number, guys.
Right.
But if you want to make 200K this year, which for some people, it's still a big number. It's a big jump. But now that 200K gets boiled down into this beautiful, awesome tactical bowl. And what comes out is this little teacup of you just got to hit 5 seller conversations a day. And again, it's in the business that we teach, in the business that Andrew's been doing for 10 years, and the business that helped me buy my first 15 properties. It is this. But the same thing can happen the way that Andrew lost 45 pounds. He didn't lose it all in one day. It's not possible. He broke it down month by month, and he lost it month by month by doing one thing, and it was showing up to the gym every single day, 5 days a week.
And having you there kicking my butt.
That's right. That's how we do it.
One more round of jump rope.
That's how we do it. So let's jump into number 2, Andrew.
Number 2. So commit fully. Everybody type in the chat. Commit fully. I want, and this is why we love doing this. We love committed people. People who are willing to invest their time and their resources by showing up and saying, I am ready to get to the next level. Commit fully means writing it down, means telling someone, means making the commitment. Something I work very hard to do is make sure that when I say something, I do it. And I've noticed some people have a habit of saying things off the cuff, right? Oh, we could do that. We could do that. And before long, they've overcommitted. Somebody might be able to relate to that. You want to help your kids, so you tell them, I'll do this, and then you want to do something for your wife or your husband, and then before long, you find yourself going, gosh, I committed. How am I going to get all this crap done? Something has to suffer. Something has to wait. And so as you're looking at everything, you're looking at your goals, you're looking at your objective, it means commit fully. When we said we're going to do the daily live, we said, you know what? We're showing up every day, 5 days a week. We're ready. We're all in. We're ready to make the leap. We're ready to make this happen. So just commit fully to whatever it is that you want to do, to whatever it is that you know that you were meant to do. And if it's sales calls, then hop on the phones. You can do it today.
The next piece I'm going to have Andrew do again because camera number 1 died.
Oops.
So keep rocking it.
Perfect. All right. Number 3, everybody type in the chat the word Kaizen. This is one Leo taught me. Kaizen. Kaizen. By the way, we got 3 cameras up today. So now we're back down to 2. We'll be back up to 3 again. Something that I think is important for us as you're growing your business, as you're leading your families or impacting the world around you, is after committing fully, just commit to constant growth. Write this down if you're taking notes. Deal with what emerges. Deal with what emerges. Not everything goes as planned. In fact, most things won't go as planned. I can assure you. If you are launching your real estate investing business, most of the deals are not going to close perfectly on time, every time, with no money down and very small monthly payments. And the tenant are going to move in and they're going to buy the house from you in perfect strategy. It just doesn't work. It's real life that things go wrong. It's real life that things are going to go sideways. It's real life that a lien will pop up on title. So all we are required to do as humans, rather than getting frustrated, oh my gosh, it was going to go perfect. Why does something always go wrong? Now we go, all right, got it. What am I to learn here? What's the thing I can do that will make it better tomorrow? Here's where the seller fell off. How would I fix that? Here's where the deal changed. How would I fix that? Here's where the meetup went well. Everyone loved the dinner, but the place was less than ideal. The next meetup's going to be at a different place. We was down to 2 cameras and the battery died. So how do we make sure tomorrow the battery's alive, right? We just sincerely.
Just like that, baby. That's all you got to do.
We're back, brother. We're back. All right. So every day we're asking ourselves, how do we improve? It's not about being perfect. It's about being better every day.
Yeah, let's talk about Kaizen real quick, okay? So, because if you just simply got 1% better every single day, mathematically, don't quote my math, I'm just going to say it, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better at that thing. So let's take this live stream, for example. This, guys, is me and Andrew's self-development tactic. for us, we wanted to commit to something that was very difficult for 365 days. We have to hop on a live stream. We get to hop on a live stream and research, study, create a framework and an entire hour topic every single day with all the meetings that we have, with all the other things that we have going on, with our real estate company, with our education company, and sit down in the middle of our day at 12 p.m., Monday through Friday, and serve at the highest energy that we can for 365 days. I just hope you guys know how crazy it is, because it is crazy to us. But what's going to happen? First day, super imperfect. Go back to our first one. It was absolute trash.
It wasn't that trash.
Wasn't that trash. Next day, we got 1%, actually like 7% better, because 9 things went wrong. Awesome. Great. Perfect. It was better. Third day, fourth day, fifth day. What are we on? Fifth day right now. So much better. We have 3 cameras now. One went down. I'll make sure that one's charged, because I'm continually improving every single day. Me and Andrew are going to see what else did not go wrong. Audio didn't go too wrong. We have this huge giant interface that I have no idea what to do with right now. But guess what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to ask, how can I improve 1% today? And I'm going to research how to use this damn crazy interface. And tomorrow it's going to be a whole lot better. That is Kaizen. That is continual and never-ending improvement on different aspects of your life. And if you can just choose one thing this year, me and Andrew have 19 things that we're continually improving, but because for the past 5 years, we chose one thing and then one thing again, and then we chose 3 things, and we chose 4 things, and now we can continually improve on multiple aspects, because it is simply a lifestyle that we have chosen to live. And I want you to do the same thing with just one simple thing. So type it in the chat, guys. What is the one thing that you're going to imperfectly show up as? Oh, let me ask that one more time. What is the one thing that you're going to do imperfectly for the next week that's going to help you improve and get you towards the life that you want? Is it going to be making sales calls? Is it going to be making content? Is it going to be showing up and doing a meetup? Is it going to be working out? Is it going to be going in the mirror and say, you know what? You're improving. You're getting better every day. What is the thing that you're going to sit down, you're going to commit to for the next week to get towards the life that you want to get to?
And lastly, most importantly, I want you to write this down if you're taking notes, is accountability. Accountability is the glue that holds this whole thing together. I know when we started this, as crazy as it sounded to us, and as crazy as it may be, we knew that this would be a place where people show up, and then where you tell your friends, and where you go, my gosh, I can't wait to get on the Truth of the Daily Live tomorrow. I may have woke up, today was tough, but I can't wait to go share from Andrew and Leo's energy. So looking at these things, you suddenly go, wait a second, it's my daily accountability. It's my daily check-in. It's the thing I do that says that is that shock I need every single day. And it spreads. Get your accountability right. For accountability comes from transparency. I was talking about taking the mask off earlier. So important that as we hold each other accountable. We're accountability partners
Every day.
But we can only do that when we're honest about where we're trying to get. If he said to me, hey, what do you want to accomplish in the gym in the next 3 months? And I was like, I don't know, man. I just want to lift.
Whoa.
Right? So if I didn't know the objective or the outcome, now there's nowhere of which to shoot for. But since we're transparent about where we're headed, now there's opportunity for accountability. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, camera number 3 died again, so you're left with these 2 options. Either there you are or here. But last thing we'll say, because we got to hop on off to another meeting here, is, guys, this is your accountability. We went over the momentum framework, how to break down a goal from all the way to, let's just call it $1 million, broken down month by month, broken down into the actionable that you have to commit to this week. So my ask for you is that you commit to one thing this week that will move you forward towards your goals. And I want you to just do nothing but that. Nothing but that in terms of this week.
So,
except for one tiny thing, which is show up tomorrow full of energy, ready to go. Me and Andrew are going to rock and roll. We're going to have a great time over the next couple of weeks with you all. And thank you so much for spending this beautiful, beautiful lunch time with us. And we'll see you tomorrow, huh?
Tomorrow, same place, same time.
Rock and roll. Peace
Thanks,
out.
guys.
Bye.